I have become obsessed with Metal Gear Solid, but is anyone shocked? I am. I did not think that a game series this old would have such an impact on me and help me understand what a game should be. So after recently playing through Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, both games are hands down some of the best games I have ever played. That is why I decided to go after the Platinum Trophy for the third installment of Metal Gear Solid, Snake Eater. Also a fun fact, only 1.1% of gamers who have played this game have unlocked its Platinum Trophy, all because of this single trophy. But more on that later. Snake Eater is divided into two separate missions, the first being a prologue. The first mission is called the Virtuous Mission. In this mission, Snake is sent into the Soviet Union to rescue a Soviet scientist named Nikolai Sokolov, who is being forced to work on a nuclear power tank called the Shagahan. The mission begins with Snake performing a halo jump into a jungle like a badass. What's not badass though is losing your freaking gun in the jungle. Thankfully, I was able to find it pretty quickly in a tree. Of course, this lends itself to the same old feeling you get from playing the first two games, but it does hit a bit differently, finally being able to look around in a third-person perspective. I continue deeper into the jungle and notice another thing different about this game, the camo. You can utilize different camos to hide from enemies, which is more immersive, and each camo has other perks like helping you to heal faster, reduce stamina costs, damage reduction, and more. Each camo also has a camo index that indicates how well hidden you are in the environment that you are in. The higher your camo index, the less likely you are to be spotted. When I realized that, I started messing around with my camo and sneaking past a few enemies and earned my first trophy, I Can See You, for reaching a camo index of 90% or more. Plus 90%, let's go. Shortly after, I found my first keratin, which are these little plastic green frogs you can shoot throughout the game. Little did I know then, but I would have to find and shoot 64 of these little guys. Shortly afterward though, I got caught trying to sneak by a guard, so I did the only thing that I knew how to do. Eventually, after sneaking our way through an area filled with guards and putting them to sleep with our MK-22, my personal favorite, we find the scientist and tell him that we need to get the hell out of this place. But while trying to escape, we are ambushed by more enemies, and guess who else shows up? Mother truckin' Ocelot, man. This SOB, like, I know this is supposed to be a prequel, but for heaven's sake, I have to deal with this man way too much lately. He's different though in this game. He is younger and isn't wielding his patented revolver. He's still not a match for Snake though, so I kindly give him a lesson in hand-to-hand combat. Uh-oh, Snake's got him. Snake's got him. What a badass. Hell yeah. Kick his ass, Snake. Young Gun! After earning the Young Gun trophy, we earn yet another trophy that is not only missable, but also 100% a troll. Oh, problem. Oh, jeez, that's so cool, dude.
Created a time paradox. Snake, you can't go changing the future like that.
That's awesome. Thanks for that. If you're a fan of the Metal Gear series, you'll know that Ocelot has been central to almost everything the bad guys do. And with Snake Eater being a prequel, like I mentioned before, killing him would essentially end the series, or at the very least, put us into a time paradox. So we can't have that. So I reload the game, clapped his cheeks again, and continue to help the scientists escape. During our escape, we run into Snake's mentor, the boss. She has taught us everything that we know. Still, she takes us by surprise when she reveals she has defected and joined what appears to be the Suicide Squad's B team, which is made up of Volgin, who has daddy issues, the Hive, who has a bad case of acne, the Fear, who looks like Ace Ventura at the age of 50, Father Time, aka The End, the Fury, who seems to be a poor man's Johnny Storm, and the Sorrow, who is basically Casper the Friendly Ghost. All jokes aside, they are all pretty badass, and you'll see for yourself here in a bit. We are all floored by our boss turning her back on us, but we are left with no choice but to fight her. Of course, she kicks our ass and throws us off a bridge, ending the prologue. Now Now we get to dive into the second mission of the game, Operation Snake Eater. Let's go, baby! It takes place in the same exact jungle where we were betrayed and our hearts ripped right out of our chest by the boss, and our new mission is designed to rectify the situation created by her defection and the theft of the Davy Crockett nuclear warhead that she then used to destroy a Soviet research facility, while at the same time framing the United States for it to escalate tensions with Russia during the Cold War. Yeah, I know, there is a lot of moving parts going on in this game, but our tasks on this mission are as follows. 1. Eliminate the boss. Our primary objective is to kill the boss, Snake's former mentor who defected to the Soviet Union. Number 2. Destroy the Shagahan. Snake must destroy the Shagahan, a massive nuclear armed tank capable of launching intercontinental ballistic missiles which Colonel Volgin is developing. And number 3. Rescue Sokolov. Another key objective is to rescue Nikolai Sokolov, the scientist who was forced to develop the Shagahan. As we go through the jungle back to where we encountered Sokolov, we run into Eva. She is a supposed KGB agent who helps us throughout the mission. She provides valuable intelligence and assistance in navigating the complex terrain of the Soviet Union. She helps us unlock a gate in our path, which I think we could have probably just climbed over it. But yeah, she is an essential character to this story. We continue deeper into the jungle and come across an enemy outpost where we decide to blow up some of their supplies. Ow, let's go, just because. And by blowing up the enemy supplies, we will eventually make them weaker and less alert because they need food. So every time I found one of these, you guessed it, I blew it up. This led us into another run-in with a fan favorite, Ocelot. He was pretty easy again to beat in this fight, even on hard mode. Of course, he was just a warm-up for the real fight though versus the Pain, which is funny because I remember making fun of him for having acne. It turns out it's not actually acne, it's freaking bee stings. What the hell is wrong with these people? I will admit though, Pain was the real first skill check of the game for me for a few different reasons. The Pain can control hornets, which he uses to attack you in various ways and deal constant damage over time if you're not careful. He could also use hornets as a shield, making it harder to land direct hits on him, so you have to be sure to exploit any moment he leaves himself vulnerable. The battle takes place in a partially flooded cave, adding an extra layer of difficulty. If you decide to swim, you must manage your stamina and oxygen levels, and movement is slower in the water, making it harder to dodge his attacks. So you are left to adapt quickly to various attacks, including shotgun blasts and grenades, or be overwhelmed by the Pain. That doesn't hit him? No way, dude. Oh. Good up! Oh my gosh. Starting to piss me off, dude. I'm out of bullets! I'm out of bullets! I'm out of bullets! Oh shit! Oh no, dude! Oh gosh! Oh sheesh, man! Oh gosh! I was out of bullets. That was so close. Pain relief. Oh boy, was I relieved to be past him. But wait, I'm going to have to defeat this dude on extreme non-lethal. Oh man, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, okay? Let's continue on the task at hand. On my way to the next location, I found the last type of fruit I hadn't gathered yet. For the trophy, everything is in season. I managed to capture this cute little guy for another trophy as well. Can I keep it? Oh, and I also learned something else that was fun. If you go into the cure menu and make Snake spin around for long enough, eventually he will puke. Ralph called, there you go. After Ralphing, I was dying of starvation, so I grabbed up this snake and I was like,
I'm about to eat you with some mayonnaise, you dumbass snake.
For another trophy, Snake Eater. Yes, that's right. In this game, you have to eat to keep up your stamina, which can be very important to do regularly, especially in the harder difficulties. In our next area, we have to infiltrate a building. Once in there, we dress up as a scientist and try to find Sokolov. It turns out he is not there, but there is a dude that we do find who gives us some very useful information. I am referring to Alexander Granin, who we find in an office. Granin is a Soviet weapons designer. Granin originally created the Metal Gear concept, a bipedal walking tank. Sound familiar? Still, his project was sidelined in favor of Colonel Volgin's Shagahan project, leading to bitterness and frustration. During the encounter, Granin provides us with crucial information, including details about the Shagahan and how to reach the secret facility where it's being developed. He also mentions a rival scientist working on a similar project, Dr. Emmerich, which is in reference to future events in the series. So after hearing all this, we have to backtrack. And while backtracking, we are ambushed by Ace, aka the Fear. He is surprisingly agile and designed to use the game environment to his advantage by jumping between trees and structures with lightning speed. This makes him not only extremely hard to track, but also to hit consistently. His crossbow also shoots poisoned arrows, and if you get hit with them, the poison will drain your stamina if you don't deal with it quickly. The Fear's tactics involve draining his stamina quickly due to his hyperactive movements and use of his stealth camo. He will seek food in the environment to replenish his stamina, prolonging the fight. You can take advantage of this by poisoning or shooting the food to harm him, but the fight can drag on if you miss these opportunities. And like I mentioned, this dude has stealth camo, so you have to rely almost entirely on sound cues to track him, unless you have the thermal goggles. This snake had no fear. I defeated him and earned, if it bleeds, we kill it. Alright, we just defeated a boss. We will be getting a break now, right? Wrong. Next boss fight was with Father Time himself. This boss fight was very frustrating for me. I could not figure out how to fight this guy. And when I did find him, he always got the jump on me. The fight is a long-range sniper duel spread across not one, not two, but 3 large areas in a forest. The end is a master sniper who uses camouflage to blend into his environment, making him extremely hard to spot. The forest environment is vast and full of hiding spots for both you and the end. The weather, time of day, and even your actions like noise can influence the battle. He also uses tranquilizer rounds to deplete your stamina rather than just your health. If your stamina runs low, it becomes harder to aim. Not to mention, he'll also attempt to sneak up on Snake, use decoys, or even relocate to a different area if given the chance. I ended up using the thermal goggles again on this guy, so it was easier to find him, find his footprints, and sneak up on him for the win. The end! Oh, what a pain in the ass that was! Alright, now we get a real break from boss fights and we climb the famous, never-ending ladder to a gorgeous mountain section of the game where we will need to meet up with Eva. While new boot goofing on the mountain, we earn 2 more trophies. Serenity Now for calling one of the healing radio frequencies, which I never use this mechanic in the game, something I probably could have taken advantage of. And we earn the trophy Tell Me Where the Bomb Is for sneaking up on this guy and asking him a few questions. When I reached the top of the mountain where Eva was waiting for me and she was hitting on Snake like it was going out of style.
A girl's gotta have some secrets, you know.
I got this ridiculous face paint on. I probably should change my face paint, dude. We then see Volgin, who is pissed off with a capital P because we have taken out most of his groupies before deciding it's best that we split up before heading down toward the Shagahan facility. Of course, right on cue as we're making our way down, another boss is standing in our way. Johnny Storm. I kid. Honestly, all these bosses are awesome. So let's try this again. The Fury. And boy, is this dude a pain in my ass. I can do this all day, dude. Where's he at? Oh, how'd he get up there? I can't hear where he's at, brothers.
Fire!
I didn't mean to let go. I hit X. Holy shit, dude! Get out of the fucking menu! I just can't pull out the sniper. Having a lot of fun. Lots of fun. But you're gonna fly at me. Let's see if you can catch me. Catch me if you can. I love bar. Oh, you found me! Of course! Of course! It's fucking funny, huh? It's fucking funny. It's great, huh? He's gonna get me again. Cause this stupid. Holy shit, dude. All of a sudden, he's invincible. The Fury wields a powerful flamethrower with a long reach, which he uses to cover large areas of the battlefield in flames that cause damage over time unless you roll on the ground to put the fire out or heal yourself. The Fury can ignite parts of the environment, creating walls of fire that limit your movement, options, and trap you in certain areas. Additionally, he uses his jetpack, a freaking jetpack, to fly around the tunnel, making him harder to target and allowing him to quickly close the distance or escape your attacks. The fight requires patience, which I don't always have, and careful strategy. Rushing in like I always do can easily lead to you taking heavy damage, so you must use stealth, wait for openings in the Fury's attacks, and manage resources carefully and use the black camo. The confined environment adds to the tension as there is little room for error. The fight against the Fury is designed to test your ability to manage space, react quickly to environmental hazards, and maintain composure under pressure, which I failed at miserably, every single one of those. It's a battle that requires both strategic planning and quick reflexes, making it one of the more memorable and challenging encounters in the game. Of course! Of course! Get the fuck up! Let's go! We are now on the home stretch, or at least that's what I thought. We make it into the facility where the Shagohod is being held, where I knock out a guard who looks way too much like Raiden and still is uniformed to be able to go about anywhere we want to go in the facility. Plus, we have this nifty mask in our inventory that makes us look like this officer that is not Raiden. We make our way through the facility and find Soul Cloth. What the hell? Did he just grow? What the fuck is this?
Who are you?
What the hell?
Don't play dumb with me.
He knows the major's package size. He knows it's not the
I
major.
come here looking for Tatiana.
Ooh, shit, right in the kneecap. Boom, gosh. Our cover is blown, and of course, like every other Metal Gear Solid game, they torture us. We don't give in because we are mother trucking Snake, but in the mix of all the chaos, our eye gets shot out. They put us in a jail cell where the guard on duty gives us a frog to eat, and when we pick up the frog, we earn the trophy, Them's Good Eating, for collecting all the frogs. In the previously mentioned torture scene, the Sorrow appears holding up some numbers we interpret as some kind of frequency for the codec. While in the jail, I dial in the frequency that he shows us and it opens up the jail cell door. Now we must escape and meet up with Eva. For this part, I'll be honest with you, I literally just ran, not caring about the alerts going off. I made it to the sewer where we were instructed to go, making my way through the sewer while being pursued by enemies. We jump off a dam and we seem to be knocked out. But we wake up in a boss fight with the ghost of Christmas Past, the Sorrow. This fight is a weird one and honestly pretty easy. The fight takes place in a surreal, dreamlike environment along Misty River. Snake is slowly walking upstream through the river, which is filled with the spirits of the enemies he's killed during the course of the game. The eerie atmosphere and haunting music and sound effects create a disturbing and reflective mood. The Sorrow was a powerful medium capable of communicating with the dead. In the fight, he doesn't attack Snake directly. Instead, he makes Snake confront the spirits of all the soldiers, bosses, and other enemies that he has killed up to this point in the game. These ghosts slowly march towards Snake, Snake, occasionally attacking him with ghostly projectiles or physical blows. The number of ghosts and how they behave depend on your actions throughout the game. If you have killed a lot of enemies, the river will be crowded with many hostile spirits, making the fight longer and more difficult. If you use non-lethal methods, there will be fewer spirits, making the encounter easier. This reflects the game's recurring theme of the consequences of violence, which I went with the non-lethal methods, so this part of the fight was really not difficult for me at all. Snake has no weapons or items to use during this encounter, making it impossible to fight in the traditional sense. The challenge lies in avoiding the spirits while making your way to the end of the river where the sorrow awaits. The fight ends in a seemingly impossible situation where Snake collapses and dies in the river. However, you are meant to use the revival pill, which is part of Snake's fake death pill system, to revive him. The fight with the sorrow is filled with symbolism and depth. It explores themes of guilt and the burden of killing and the inevitability of death. It's less about skill and more about confronting the emotional and ethical consequences of being a soldier. After using the revival pill, Snake wakes up on the riverbank, realizes the entire encounter was a vision of spiritual experience designed specifically to give you this trophy. River of Pain. Let's go defeat Sorrow. We make our way to meet up with Eva to plan our next move. Again, some more flirting takes place. Eva really wants a piece of Snake, but he's just not feeling it. She has some C3 which we are going to plant 4 of them near the Shagohod to blow it up. We make our way back to where the Shagohod is at, plant the C3, and right as we get the 4th one planted, Ocelot, our man, and Volgin catch us. Time for our showdown with Volgin. Volgin is not just an ordinary soldier. He possesses superhuman strength and resilience due to his ability to control electricity. He can take a lot of damage, making it a battle where you need to land many hits before he goes down. Volgin's main power is his ability to generate and manipulate electricity. He can unleash powerful electrical attacks and can deal significant damage to Snake. These attacks have a wide area of effect and can be challenging to avoid, especially in the confined space of the arena. Some of Volgin's attacks can temporarily disable Snake's weapons or cause him to drop them, forcing you to scramble to retrieve them or switch to another weapon. Volgin is a relentless attacker, combining hand-to-hand combat with his electrical powers. He uses a mix of melee attacks which are fast and difficult to dodge, and ranged attacks which can hit Snake from a distance. Like I said, the fight takes place in a relatively small enclosed area, limiting your ability to maneuver. This makes it harder to maintain distance from Volgin, which makes it problematic given the reach of the electrical attacks. The fight is divided into 2 phases, each with its own challenges. Volgin becomes more aggressive as the fight progresses into the 2nd stage, and his attacks become more frequent and harder to avoid. His pattern changes, requiring you to adapt your strategy mid-fight. I went with the CQC strategy where I body slam Volgin to the ground and then I can roll over his body to do more stamina damage. I use this strategy because by defeating him non-lethal, I get his camo, which makes it so some of the enemies do not shoot you during the next phase of the game. After a little bit of rage, I finally take Volgin down to earn trophy number 20, Rounded. Let's go! After the Volgin fight, we are immediately thrown into a chase with Eva on her motorcycle, with enemies all around us shooting at us. This little sequence is a lot of fun. With Volgin's camo, none of the enemies shoot at us if we are facing them, so we were able to spam rockets and other guns at them. The really cool thing about this sequence is that we have unlimited ammo. The chase even makes its way to a runway. So epic. By the end of this chase, we are back in yet another boss fight with Volgin, and this time he is inside the Shagohod. The Shagohod is a massive, heavily armored nuclear tank capable of devastating attacks. Its sheer size and firepower make it a formidable opponent. Its large scale means that it can cover a wide area with its attacks, making it hard to avoid damage. The Shagohod has a variety of attacks, including machine gun fire, missiles, and electrical shocks. The machine gun fire is rapid and difficult to dodge, while the missiles track Snake, requiring precise timing to avoid. The electrical shock attack can cover a wide area, making it especially dangerous. The Shagohod has specific weak points that need to be targeted to deal significant damage. In the first phase, you must shoot the treads to disable its mobility temporarily. In the second phase, you must attack the exposed area where Volgin controls the machine. These windows of vulnerability are short, and you need to time their attacks carefully. During the second phase, the fight takes place in a smaller, more confined area with limited room to maneuver. This makes it harder to dodge the Shagahod's attacks and leaves you with fewer options for taking cover. This boss fight was one of the easier ones, but it was fun. I am amazed by how unique each one of these boss fights are. With the Shagahod and Volgin finally defeated, we earn trophy number 21, Shagadelic. Let's go! Now we are on the home stretch. After this boss fight, we have another chase scene that ends up with us crashing and Eva being seriously injured. We now have to escort the slow, complaining Eva through 2 different areas. I really struggled with the first area. It seemed like Eva was always falling behind, but I just slowed down, took out the guards pursuing us to make it through this area, and we were just about to escape when the boss stopped us. This is it. I must now defeat the traitor. Here we go. The boss uses a combination of CQC techniques, gunplay, and incredible agility to keep you on the defense. Her attacks are fast and difficult to predict, requiring quick reflexes and precise timing to counter or evade. The fight takes place in a beautifully symbolic field of white flowers, but there's a strict time limit. If you do not defeat the boss within the allotted time, the mission fails. This adds an extra layer of pressure to the battle, forcing you to battle offense and defense while keeping an eye on the clock. The battle occurs in an open circular field with few places to hide. This forces you into confrontations with the boss where her superior skills give her the advantage. The lack of cover makes it difficult to avoid her gunfire and CQC attacks. To effectively fight the boss, you need to understand CQC mechanics well, which at this point I thought I did, but I guess I didn't. The boss will often try to disarm Snake and throw him to the ground, and she can also counter many of Snake's moves. Successfully engaging her in CQC requires precise timing and knowledge of the game's combat system. And this boss's AI is highly adaptive. She responds to your actions with counters and changes in tactics, making it difficult to rely on just one strategy. She can dodge bullets, block attacks, and quickly close the distance to engage CQC, forcing you to adjust your approach constantly. The fight is set up so that you cannot rely on external resources like rations or healing items, as there are none available. This means you must rely entirely on your skill and whatever health you have remaining at the start of the fight. This boss had me fuming. I was fuming so much during the boss fight that I earned trophy number 22, don't touch the sides, for using a knife to remove a bullet, and I didn't even care. I had no response for earning the trophy. After some rage, I was able to get the hang of the CQC strategy to throw her down to the ground and shoot her with my trank gun to defeat her and earn trophy number 23, the Patriot. Let's go! In her dying moments, the boss reveals the truth to Snake. She was ordered to die at his hands and to take the blame for Volgin's nuclear attack on the Soviet research facility and to retrieve the philosopher's legacy for the United States. Her defection and actions were all part of the larger plan orchestrated by the US government to avoid World War III and secure the philosopher's legacy, a massive fund created by the secretive group of influential figures. The boss had been loyal to her country to the very end, willing to sacrifice her honor, her legacy, and her life for the greater good. She hands Snake the microfilm containing the data on the philosopher's legacy for asking him to end her life, which he reluctantly does. Once we are in a safe place with Eva, some romantic flares fire up, and the next morning Eva is gone, but she has left us a tape. Eva's tape recording plays, revealing more about the events and motivations behind the mission. Eva explains that the boss had been ordered by the US government to die at the hands of her beloved student, which we already knew, and she carried out her mission knowing she would be branded as a traitor and die with a tarnished legacy. Eva also reveals that she was a spy for the Chinese government sent to retrieve the philosopher's legacy for China, but she failed to obtain the full amount. She expresses her sorrow for how things turned out and hopes Snake can forgive her. So after successfully completing the mission, Snake returns to the United States. He is awarded the title Big Boss in a ceremony recognizing his service and success. However, Snake is visually disturbed and emotionally broken by the events that transpire, particularly the death of his mentor, the boss. In a somber scene, Snake visits the unmarked grave of the boss. He places her gun and a bouquet of white lilies on her grave and gives a final salute. As he stands there, Tears rolled down his face, signifying the deep emotional impact of her death and the burden he now carries. But wait! There is a post-credit scene! Dun dun dun! Let's go! The post-credit scene is a conversation between our man Ocelot and an unknown person on the phone. It is revealed that Ocelot was actually a triple agent during the events of Metal Gear Solid 3. Throughout the game, Ocelot is seen working under Colonel Volgin and later appears to be helping the CIA and KGB. However, this conversation reveals that his true alliance was to the CIA all along. Ocelot confirms that he has successfully secured the Philosopher's Legacy, a vast sum of money that has the objective of many competing interests throughout the game. However, it is revealed that Ocelot has only recovered half of the legacy. The other half, which is held by the boss, has been handed over to the US government. The post-credit revelation about Ocelot uncovers his true role as a triple agent working for the CIA and successfully acquiring the Philosopher's Legacy, and his future importance in the Metal Gear saga. This scene not only deepens the complexity of Ocelot's character, but also sets the stage for the political narratives that unfold in the coming games. Wow, like a boss. What a great game, right? Alright, with my first playthrough down, it's now time to play through on very easy to get all the collectible trophies and miscellaneous trophies I missed on my first playthrough. There is like 24 of them, with a bunch of them being collectible related. But the two most unique ones had to be Peace Walker trophy, which I got for not killing anyone in an entire playthrough, and the coast is clear for beating the game without entering alert mode. And once my easy playthrough was over with, that left me with one single trophy left to get for the platinum, and it is the trophy that is single-handedly responsible for why only 1.1% of people have gotten the PS5 version of Snake Eater's platinum trophy, the Foxhound trophy. What makes it so hard, you ask? Well, you have to beat the game on extreme difficulty, you cannot take more than 10 life bars worth of damage, you have to complete the game in 5 hours, you cannot use any continues, you cannot kill anyone, you cannot alert anyone, you cannot use any life medicine, you cannot use any special items like stealth camo or the infinite face paint, and finally, you cannot save the game more than 25 times. Now, if that isn't a tall order, then I don't know what is, and yet I still somehow managed to underestimate what I was getting myself into. There is a silver lining though. If you mess up, you can actually reload the last save. So as long as you use your 25 saves strategically, you can get through it without too many problems. Of course, after reloading your save 100+ times, only to fail a part of the campaign again, no one could blame you for quitting. I did, however, use a guide for my route, and with the help of the guide, I used a lot of different game mechanics I had never used before, like leaning to the left or to the right to aim, using stun grenades, and other various utilities you get in the game. So fast forward, we fight Ocelot again, but the boss fight with him is not worth mentioning in this one. It was pretty easy, even on extreme. And remember, we are doing all these bosses non-lethal. We made it through the first part of the game pretty easy, and then I ran into my first roadblock. Who would have guessed? The pain! Oh, how did I get damaged there? I'm not hitting him at all, dude. He's throwing so much shit at me, dude. Holy crap. What the hell? Holy shit, dude. I can't do anything with this guy. He like... just go down in the water, Snake! Snake, go down into the water, brother! How do I fucking miss this guy, dude? How does this hitbox on him exist? I don't understand this hitbox, huh? That doesn't hit him? How does it not hit him? I could be running goddamn shit! I was about ready to quit, but as you fight the boss over and over again, you begin to learn patterns, and that is exactly what I did. Yes! Let's go! Next boss was the Fear, and I used a speedrunning tactic here where I used a pill to fake my death, so he came over to check on me, and he fell for it. As soon as he turned his back on me, I revived myself, threw a stun grenade at his feet, and proceeded to melt him with the AK-47, which is funny because the game apparently marks the damage he receives when stunned as non-lethal damage and not a kill. Next up is the end. This old fart had new tricks up his sleeve on extreme mode. This mother trucker would set up traps and ambush me, which I do not remember this happening in either of my easy or hard playthroughs. The fight literally had me on the verge of quitting, even more so than the pain. Where the f is he at, dude? Where the f— he's setting me up, dude. He's setting me up. But I embraced my inner snake and buckled down, and eventually this happened. Yes! Let's go! Next up, my old flame, the Fury, who gave me a bit of a headache. No! No, I ran right into the— oh, damn it! I didn't want to do that, dude! Ah! Beating Fury is about the halfway mark, so there's nothing left to do now but buckle down and move on to the next fight, featuring a fan favorite, the Sorrow, which was easy as hell this time because I hadn't killed anyone, so I could waltz down the river without a worry in the world. The next big test was Volgin, and what a little piece of you-know-what he was. At this point, I felt like I was getting pretty good at CQC, so I could get through the first phase without taking a hit, but then he would just murder me in the second phase. No, I rolled, dude. I got so close. No, he got me. I got this guy. I got it. But I wasn't about to quit at this point, so I just basically kept banging my head against the brick wall known as Volgin until this happened. Next up, we have Showdown and Volgin together, which this one was pretty easy. I got it on my first try. But the real peak was my final fight with the boss. Here we go. When I started this fight, I was pretty confident in my close quarter combat abilities. But no way, dude. But it turns out I was actually kind of ass. She was living rent-free in my head at this point, so I decided trying a trank sniper strategy that I had seen before, but it just did not pan out. I just didn't have an answer to do with her at all. So I said to myself,
"Give your balls a tug, you tit fucker!"
So that is what I did, and something just clicked, and I did it! Yes! Yes! And after waiting eternity for the credits to finish rolling, here we go! Here we go! Let's go! Snakein! This platinum is definitely one of the hardest ones I have done by far, but if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe. And if you want to see me get another hard platinum trophy, check out my Nioh 2 platinum video right here.